everyone. Welcome to the John Hallett podcast. I am John Hallett. Thanks for joining me today. And I'm talking a little bit today about some top 10 and top 5 things we can do, some of my favorite things, and getting out of your comfort zone. This is definitely out of my comfort zone. If you guys know me well, I'm a real introvert. I really don't like being in front of the camera. I was just talking to Bill Anderson yesterday about it. It's really outside my comfort zone to do anything like that. I don't like being on film. I don't like making Krav Maga videos and look at me kind of thing. Definitely not my personality. I think it just took me 15 minutes, and also went outside before that for 12 minutes and shoveled some snow out of the front of the gym today, so it could maybe try to melt. We got a little bit of flurries here today. So, it took me a bit to get motivated just to do this. Being outside your comfort zone, that is stuff we should do. I think it does make you better. It's just something I'd wanted to do for a while, mainly for my kids, that there was a video diary. I had different conversations in my head, things I never got out to my kids, and, struggle. I think as a parent, I don't think that's definitely the hardest job out there is being a parent. And I always try to do my best, but then I always, have a lot of things in my own head that sometimes just never get out there. And hopefully they trickle out in this podcast and my kids can consume it at some point, because life is short and you never know when it's up. So live it to your fullest, try hard, train hard, do things you like every day, make yourself a better person, and sometimes get out of that comfort zone. So my first list here, things I want to talk about, is top 10 fitness exercise, things I would pick if I couldn't do any other things. And that's really hard because there's just so many great exercises and so many ways to get stronger. But some of my favorite things to do, and if I just had to pick just to be all around fit, my first thing, number 10, would be knees to elbows or toes to bar. That's hanging from a pull-up bar and getting your either toes touching the bar and or your knees to your elbows. So real hard, great core exercise, but you're also working that grip strength, hanging on, something Peter Attia talks about, grip strength and longevity. So that's a great one, great for your core. My number 9, it's kind of been a favorite recently, flutter kicks. I think they're a great way to really engage the core, but it also takes so much core strength to do them without putting your hands underneath your butt, to be able to push that low back in and feel that core strength, kind of hold that hollow rock position, is a real challenge. I think it's a real great exercise. I'll mix them up from kind of just doing flutters, or I'll also kind of cross over, bringing heel to toe at different heights on those are one of my favorites. I think it's a good one. A lot of great ab exercise, and those 9 and 10 are great for your core. And if I had to chop them off, I'd definitely be working pull-ups, number 8. I think that's a great exercise, something recently that I've had a lot of tendonitis over the last couple years, kind of really getting back into them slowly, not doing quite the volume I used to do even in my 40s, never mind my 30s. I used to be able to do a whole ton of push-ups with pull-ups without stopping. So, and had actually, with my buddy Mike Pinnell, we were building up to, we were really close to getting 100-pound strict weighted pull-up. I think we were in like the 85-pound zone there. And it's got to be, God, I don't know how long, but time flies, probably at least 5 years ago. I had to kind of stop that just with tendonitis problems. So love pull-ups, whether they're strict or kipping. A lot of people hate kipping pull-ups. I think they definitely have their place. They are extremely hard. Definitely something that makes me want to throw up when I'm doing a whole ton of kipping pull-ups. So they're great, but you got to work the strength. You've got to, even come up halfway. I tell a lot of people, who cares if you're not getting all the way up? It doesn't matter. Just try. Just that first part of the engagement is great, or just working the negative is obviously a great strength builder. So pull-ups, fantastic. My number 8. Number 7, hate these, sprints. Again, if you're haven't done any sprints, I would not recommend just going out and doing a sprint workout. It is one of those ones I would probably top three of how sore I can be after a really good sprint workout. So they're fantastic. Get out of that comfort zone. A lot of people don't like to sprint. If you're one of those people, you should do a little bit of it. It is fantastic. Like everything else, you got to ease yourself into any exercise protocol. But sprinting is definitely a fantastic thing, and something if I had to pick, I would include sprints in my top 10. If I can only do 10 things, sprints would be on there. Number 6, sled drags. Something I love to do, whether it's forward, backwards, or even sled drag, prowler, push. I love to do that for just like 30 minutes. I think it's fantastic. I wish there wasn't the snow on the ground. It's something I love to do first thing in the morning and just drag the sled as the sun comes up, get that morning sunlight. You feel so much better being outside, but sled drags are fantastic for you. I would include that in my top 10. Number 5 is definitely a difficult one. Squat cleans. Now, they are hard and they will make your body hurt. There's nothing like being fatigued from kind of head to toe with a full body exercise like the squat clean. They're fantastic. I love doing squat cleans / I hate them, but I know I'm going to be better for it. So squat cleans, number 5. Number 4, real struggle with this list because I don't have back squats on this list. I have some other squat variations on here, but if I just had to pick, I would do deadlifts. So I've got that front squat in a squat clean, but I'm not doing a back squat. I love them. I know I'm probably on a lot of your top 10 lists for favorite exercises or exercises you would pick to if you could only do 10, but deadlift is my number 4. I love deadlift. I don't deadlift as heavy as I used to, but you can still deadlift and get a great benefit as you get older. I just found like getting close to that max zone, I'd always tweak something, and at 50, it's just not worth being tweaked because that tweak ends up being, a whole ton of time up to you. I remember a trip, it was over probably a spring break. I had a little tweak in my glute, and that little tweak ended up me being barely able to stand. And if I actually sat down or was lying down at the beach, I couldn't get up. It was a horrible little quote tweak that turned into a really big catastrophe of just really a lot of damage to the hip and surrounding muscles. Kind of just actually it hurt all the way down to my calf at the very end. Just everything was kind of a perfect storm. Sorry about that. Somebody forgot to shut off their phone. And number 3, push-ups. I absolutely love push-ups. They're fantastic. It's hard not to be one of my number 1 exercises, but push-ups, so many different variations you can do with the push-up. I think it's a fantastic exercise, and so many people think they're just easy. God, you can get so deep into the push-up and doing it strict and really feeling each muscle group work as you go through the range of motion. So push-ups would be my number 3. Number 2 is thrusters, and kind of tied with that, I had to kind of put on wall ball because I was thinking, if I'm in a position where I don't have dumbbells, I don't have a barbell, well, there's something you could throw up there, whatever it is, a backpack full of weight, just sand. You could do wall balls. They're very similar. The thruster is my number 2 exercise. Really exercise that makes you want to throw up. I think they're fantastic for any fighter, martial artist, MMA, BJJ. Thrusters are just such a fantastic exercise where you're holding a barbell or a pair of dumbbells, could be just a single kettlebell. And they're also great to do just one-handed. We actually did one-handed actually this morning in the workout. So you're holding those, you're squatting down in a front squat, and as you come up, you're pressing those up overhead. Fantastic exercise. Full body, you've got to work everything in that thruster. And then my number 1 is burpees. I love burpees. If I couldn't do anything, if I had to take everything off the list, For fitness, I would just do burpees. I love them slash hate them. I actually just did 30 burpees for time. Hadn't done that little test in a while. That first 15, kind of feels easy. You're like, I'm going through there, but as soon as you get that halfway point, that cardio starts to kick in, and can you finish that fight with the last 15? Fun little test. It's actually Bill Anderson, one that he brought to me. Fantastic little quick one that you can just kind of do, but it is definitely a challenge because, depending on your fitness level, the first 10 might be a real struggle. And that next 5 is just like, doesn't feel like you can even do them, just trying to do them as fast as you can, because obviously walking around the gym and doing one and taking a couple minutes, that's not it. It's just trying to do it as fast as you can and just down and up, down and up, down and up. I do those pretty strict. I really don't like to come up floppy or unbroken. I like to come up in kind of an old school burpee on all my burpees, unless it's some killer workout or 365 burpees for time. It's really hard to keep your form when you're doing that many burpees in a row. That's my top 10 fitness exercises. If I had to pick 10 things and that's all I could do for my fitness, those are the 10. Burpees, number 1, 2 thrusters, 3 push-ups, 4 deadlift, 5 the squat clean, 6 sled drags, 7 sprinting, 8 pull-ups, number 9 flutter kicks, and number 10 knees to elbows slash toes to bar. Those are my top 10. I want you guys to hold on a quick second for a word from our sponsors. But I've got how to be better at whatever, Krav Maga, fitness, whatever it may be, your martial art. And I've also got my top 5 body weight exercises for Krav Maga and the martial arts coming up. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. Prestige Labs for all your supplement needs. My favorite, Test Boost, Power Vitality. They have a women's version as well. EFA Hormone Optimizer, protein. You can't get enough protein. They have 3 great flavors. These all taste delicious, absolutely fantastic. And if you're looking for a quick start, the Pre-Step, Burn AM, Intra, and Sleep Multiplier will help you get going. Be sure to visit ClearSky-Online.com and hit that nutrition tab to get started, and you'll be kicked over to our discounted page on Prestige Labs. Welcome back. We are here with the John Hallett podcast, and we're talking about some top 10 exercises, and I am on to my top 5 bodyweight exercises that I would pick for martial artists. If I had to pick 5 top things to do to improve your martial art, whatever it may be, these are my 5. Coming up is just how to be better, what things you can do just to be better at anything, better at life, better at your martial art, your fitness protocol. My top 5 body weight for Krav Maga and the martial arts. Number 1 would be burpees. Again, right off the other list. Number 1, burpees. They're fantastic. Finish the fight is something that pushes you, whether it's a Tabata of burpees, 20 seconds of work, and then 10 seconds of rest. That's a great one. Whether it's just different intervals of burpees, it definitely tests you as a fighter. If you can't push through fitness exercise to that point where you might be throwing up or you just feel like you can't do any more, what are you going to do in an actual fight when somebody else is inflicting pain on you? So I think burpees are a fantastic way just to kind of punish yourself so you're ready for somebody to punish you. That's a fight. There's plenty of strong people out there, but that mental aspect of fighting is so different than the aspect of pushing yourself in fitness. When somebody else is inflicting that pain, it is a different type of pain. It is so different. It's so mentally challenging, different than just doing a fitness exercise. So there's, besides just having your buddy beat you up, which isn't always great for your brain, trying to push yourself through body weight exercises or bodybuilding, weightlifting, whatever exercises are great, but these are all body weight things I would choose to do. My next one would be an iso reverse crunch, and iso reverse crunch with a twist, where think of a regular reverse crunch. This is just keeping your feet over your hips, and you're really just using your core to lift up, not using any momentum in the full reverse crunch. You get a lot of momentum with the legs built up there. I'm trying to keep my feet relatively over my hips, and I'm lifting my hips up off the ground. And then the twist, I would be up and kind of corkscrewing up to the right, and then the left. I think those are just fantastic for all your ground movement, things you have to do on the ground, and just a strong core, strong fighter is something I always say at our gym here at RMSDF. Number 3 would be clapping push-ups. You can also scale those obviously from your knees, and obviously you could be doing any other scaled version of a push-up, but they're just fantastic for that explosive power that you need in your punching. So clapping push-ups would be my number 3 thing. Number 4 is something I try not to do before I go snowboarding. Jump lunges, another great Tabata is jumping lunges. So, and again, you could do jumping lunges weighted. One of my all-time favorite things, or gosh, I can remember how sore I can be from doing weighted lunges, or weighted jumping lunges rather. Sorry. They are fantastic. I actually did those years and years ago on the gym on Wilcox Street, now Tribe and all those other restaurants over there in Great Divide was where our first location was here in Castle Rock. And I did those with a guy that was a very serious road biker. And he told me, no worries. And I'm like, I think you should just probably do body weight. And he's like, no, I'm fine. My legs are strong. And I was like, well, you are a biker. They should be. His wife told me he didn't get off the couch the next day for his planned Sunday bike ride. So jumping lunges, they can kick your butt. I know I've ruined a snowboard day here and there by having jumping lunges in my workouts too close to snowboarding days. And then my number 5 would be jumping squats. They are fantastic. Gotta love to squat. You're gonna squat your whole life, and nothing like building that explosive power by doing jump squats. That's my top 5 things that I would do for bodyweight exercises in the martial arts, or something I'd be including in my routine, whatever I was doing, shadow boxing, whatever you may be doing. You're doing traditional martial arts and you're doing your forms, break them up, do 5 of each of these things in between each one of your forms, whatever it may be. They're just a fantastic bodyweight exercise, whether you're hitting a heavy bag and doing 30 seconds interval of striking and 30 seconds of jump squats, and you're doing 5 intervals of that, 5 intervals of jumping squats and working that heavy bag, so on all the way down the list. And mixing it up are great ways to incorporate those into your striking. Or maybe you're just working front kicks and jump squats, something I love to do in classes in beginner level and even advanced levels. Like work your round kick and work your jumping squat, get you tired, get you fatigued, and get you working hard. So I'd love to hear any comments from you guys, what you guys would include for bodyweight exercises for the martial arts. But if I had to pick 5, those would be the 5 I would pick to include in my routine for any martial art to be better. And don't have anything, you're at a hotel, those are just great bodyweight exercises in general, kind of keep you pretty well rounded. The only thing I don't see on that list, kind of looking down, it would be something else I could do for the core possibly. Obviously something else, maybe handstand push-ups would be something if I could put on number 6. Just I would do something, holding yourself body weight overhead is extremely hard, and just even the practice of holding a free handstand out there, gives you an opportunity to work your forward roll, or maybe your forward fall. Those are fantastic. Great coordination, just trying to work a freestanding handstand. Fantastic for the martial arts, and that body awareness is something that's fantastic in a freestanding handstand. But I would recommend knowing how to roll, having a padded surface on there. You can also, of course, start on a wall and try to balance before and have that wall steady you, or having a partner hold your legs up there and spot you a bit is a great way to add handstands. So if I had to put a bonus on there, I would put handstand push-ups on that list. It's a fantastic one. All right, I want you guys to hold on. I'm going to talk about, ways to be better, or things that I am really trying to do to be better at life, at Krav Maga, at fitness. So hold on for a quick word from our sponsors. Do you want the best gear? Do you need a new pair of sparring gloves? Check out revgear.com. Check out the S5s, the absolutely best sparring gloves they've ever made. Comes in different colors. Check them out. Use the code JHPodcast to save 10% at checkout. If you're in the Douglas County area, visit Rocky Mountain Self-Defense and Fitness and mention the podcast to save 15% off. All right, guys, welcome back. Thanks for hanging in there. Thanks to our sponsors. We got so many great ones. Rev Gear being a real big one. I absolutely love Rev Gear products. Their staff is fantastic. Their owner is a fantastic guy, Paul Revlin. So thanks to all our sponsors. They really help fuel this podcast. So if you guys can support any and all of our podcasts, that would be fantastic. So being better, what are we doing to be better? A couple of these really are just right off of Andrew Huberman, but things that always come to mind. But my number one, if you want to be better at X, whatever it may be, you've got to be consistent. It's a downfall of so many people. They just get off track, and it is hard. I just had a real stomach bug last week, and you're sitting around the house for 3 days. It's really hard to get back and be motivated and get onto your routine. I know it is hard. If you're out there listening and you're not doing anything, I know it's hard. Life is extremely hard. Sometimes you don't even know how bad you feel because you just haven't done anything in so long. You don't know. And I hear people, working out, it hurts. Man, I'm pretty sure dying is going to hurt. Unless you go quietly in your sleep, but man, was it because you were just weak? It's so much has to do with the strength of your body, and people just don't pay it attention until it's too late. You're so much better if you're just consistent with a workout, whatever it may be. Krav Maga, you're doing something to be better and you're working out. It is just my number one thing to do to be better is just to be consistent with that routine. But gosh, as you get older, being strong is so important. That's coming from guys like Peter Attia, Andrew Huberman, these guys with big degrees behind them, not some, guy here at a gym coaching classes. I'm a coach, I'm a motivator. You look at the science behind this stuff, being strong pays off, and I can help you be strong. So if you need lessons, you're looking for motivation, hit me up. My email's john@rmsdf.com. I'd love to help you out. Just being consistent, and you don't know how you feel when you're just on your butt all the time. Yeah, it's gonna hurt, but you know what? Recovering, like people not recovering from a broken leg, an auto accident, you recover so much better from those unpredictable things in life if you are strong. The science is behind that. And ladies, you're gonna need muscle as you get older. Who wants to be the frail old lady that needs help with the dog food to get that into her car? And that goes for you guys as well. That frail old man, like you don't want to be that guy. Be strong. Do these things in that top 10 fitness exercises, and you will be better and you will live longer. It is just a fact. My number 2 thing is rest. Something that I know people struggle with as they age. It is really hard. I was reminding somebody, I'm like, NSDR, non-sleep deep rest. Andrew Huberman coined that and has a couple protocols out there. They're off of like a yoga nidra strip. The NSDR is not so meditative, not so, I don't even know what the right word is there, yogi. Actually, I forgot to hit the sleep timer on my NSDR last night, and it just went and went. My wife woke me up at like 2 a.m. and just like, shut off your phone. I'm like, oh my gosh, I am sorry. Forgot to hit that sleep timer, and it bounced off my Spotify non-sleep deep rest protocol list and just kind of branched out. I guess I kind of forget some of the Spotify suggest some stuff. So it had some yoga bells on there, a bunch of other things she told me that she just couldn't fall back asleep. I'm like in there, so I put back on the regular one that we use that's on my Spotify playlist. We put that out several different times. I'll try to remember to put that in the show notes for this one as well, but you can always hit me up and I will send you that Spotify playlist. Number 3 is your nutrition, right? It is so key. We know it. It's a struggle. I think sometimes people think I'm just, I don't think donuts are great. Donuts are fantastic, but they make me feel terrible. So I try to really, really, really limit any of that stuff, those sugar-coated lies, as Jocko always puts it. They are definitely a lie. They are going to lie to you. They're going to be fantastic going down, but they're not doing your body any good. So I know it's a struggle. It is hard to eat right when you're on the road. It is hard. You got to plan it out. What are you doing? What am I going to do? Prestige Labs has a fantastic protein shake. I love their stuff. Fueling that stuff. I love Prestige Labs. They're a fantastic company that's really just out there for gym owners. I've battled with, I had given up on supplements until I found Prestige Labs, because even like our Fit Aid, fantastic company, but they were brought up by small gyms across the country, and now you can get it in Safeway. Now they push it out there, to direct sell, and it was really off small CrossFit gyms that Fit Aid really got its start, and then they forget about you. So you're like, why should I help promote you when you're really out there promoting yourself? And we're not really getting a big benefit of it when you're throwing it into a retail store and people can buy it for possibly cheaper because they're selling to the big box store and at a big bulk, and we can't even buy it at that quantity to get that type of price discount. So Prestige Lab is all about that small gym and giving you a supplement line that is fantastic. I notice a real difference. I talked about it in a previous podcast of placebo affecting that stuff, and it is definitely fantastic stuff. So throw in that protein shake. What are you doing? My wife makes some fantastic bars. We're going to try to get some of those up here on the Clear Sky channel to help people out with those simple paleo recipes that are just good, wholesome food for you. So nutrition, it's just going to carry you so far. You can't out-train a bad diet. You're wondering why you're not making progress in whatever you're doing out there, martial arts, fitness. You can't out-train a bad diet. Whatever you're doing, that weekend glass of wine that turns into a bottle of wine that turns into 1.5, and then now you're eating something that you probably wouldn't have, and it's really tough to out-train that. I really try to go easy, I'd say, on the weekends, and manage that social activity of having a social drink with friends. It is really tough. I've been mad at myself multiple times of like, well, now I am a little bit more apt to go, those brownies look good that Jenny made for the kids. So tough. You've got to really monitor that and really push yourself to limiting it to one day a week, maybe 2. But as soon as you start getting in and over that, and you're having a glass of wine every night, you are in trouble, because you're not going to out-train that bad diet. Andrew Huberman, people hate to hear his alcohol one, but that one, you're not getting any benefit. The health benefit of a glass of wine is, great marketing. You can listen to him. Don't hate me, hate him. He's the one with all the science facts on there. So, I was of the, a glass of wine, it's got some health benefits. It's not terrible. Well, listen to that Andrew Huberman on alcohol consumption. I guess we are on, what are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4 is friends, family, the people that you surround yourself with, your relationships. They're just so huge. Um, you surround yourself with bad people, it's downhill from there. People that aren't supporting you, that's really tough, especially if you have a spouse that's not supportive of you trying to be better, eat better, exercise. That is a really tough position to be in. I don't envy that. There's plenty of psychiatrists out there, relationship counselors out there, but surrounding yourself with supportive people is just so important. As I was planning for this podcast, I remember a friend that I was friends with probably, sophomore, junior year. No, I guess it might have been even freshman, sophomore at this point, because um, my love was football and lifting. Loved to lift, and baseball was a real passion from just being a little kid. That was first sport I ever played, and had kind of fallen in love with football, moving to Nantucket Island, and the baseball coach at the time didn't let us lift, and it just turned into, I don't think I quit that year, but I might have missed some practices riding dirt bikes with this individual that, he had kind of quit football, kind of quit everything, had a rough family life. Really tried to support him, be a friend to him, because he really was a good guy. But he was one, do you want to skip practice and ride dirt bikes again? And I'm like, no, I've got guys on the team that are counting on me being there. Just I'm a little mad about the not being able to lift. Of course, I was still lifting, so despite coach's orders, because I was preparing for the next season of football. Baseball was fun, but football was king at that point in my life, so I was lifting all the time. But he would try to bring me down, and misery loves company. Come on and ride, and you can just think of all those other people that kind of bring you down, like come on out for a drink after work, those type of things, and they're just who cares, you can work out tomorrow. Are those the people that you really want to surround yourself with? They're just bringing you down, they're not helping you out. It's just terrible. I think back to the road I saw this guy journey down, drinking, that type of stuff, and being able to lift yourself up is huge. I remember years later, I don't know where he went, and things that happened to him, but he ended up in jail, did some horrible things. I won't elaborate on this podcast, but he had such a bright future. I tried to be positive around him, but at a certain point, you can't help everybody. They've got to want to help themselves. So it's sad. It's sad. But you guys got to look at your relationships and who's bringing you down. Surround yourself with positive people. I constantly tell my wife, I'm like, I have a ton of friends. I don't want to spend time with a new group when she's missed social. I'm like, I've got plenty of guys that I feel like bring me up. I'm gambling on this person. So, how many friends do I need? Just a couple is all I really need. It's great meeting new people, but sometimes when I look at my time, I'm like, I don't really want to gamble on this couple dinner being something that's going to pan out. I don't feel like I have enough time to devote to my friends that I have. So definitely a hard thing out there, but sometimes you got to manage it and make your wife happy. But the people you surround yourself with, surround yourself with people that want to bring you up and be better. They're out there doing, hard things, whether it's in business, and they're out there pushing themselves. They're trying to do something else to be better for their job, not just coasting along. Like, who do you want to surround yourself with? That's just going to be a huge thing if you can improve your relationships. That just has such a mental um, drag on you when you're around people that are just negative all the time, not supportive. You're going to do so much better if you can just find a group of friends that are supportive. And that's something I think we've got some fantastic people here at RMSDF that are just so supportive, want to see people being better. So, get in the gym. We're here to, I know our community's here to support all of you. The other thing to be better is visualizing. You want to be better at Krav Maga. You want to be better at your fitness, whatever it may be. Visualizing yourself as a better person, seeing that what you want to see in the mirror, you've got to see that so you can get to that picture. That mental training. Sometimes people have such a bad self-image that you just got to get that mental training. Spend some time visualizing and seeing what you're going to look like. See that progress. See yourself shedding those pounds. See yourself doing an Olympic snatch if you're big into Olympic weightlifting. You've got to picture that movement. You've got to see that martial arts escape, whatever it may be. See yourself throwing that round kick. Spend that time doing the mental training. One thing I love to do is role play in my mental training. I'm always picturing myself, doing a weapons disarm. What are you doing after? What's the protocol? What are you doing? Are you moving? Are you assessing? Seeing yourself do those things are just a fantastic way to get better at whatever it is. You miss training, visualize, sit in a quiet place, breathe in, breathe out. Doesn't have to be crazy. Sometimes you're, just amped up from the day, you're a little stressed. Breathe in, breathe out. Just breathe. Come back to your breath. Doesn't have to be fancy. Just breathe in, breathe out, and visualize whatever you want to be better at. See yourself in a relationship. How are you handling that relationship? Walk yourself through it visually. Role play those things. Mental training is just a fantastic way at any sport. Always seeing yourself being better. That is something that is just absolutely key to being better at whatever you want to do. That mental side. See yourself with bigger biceps. Picture yourself. It is just so easy to be negative out there and just, I'm down, I'm a slow gainer, I'm never going to be big. Well, you just said you're never going to be big. So, you got to fight that mental little devil on your shoulder and, tell it to shut up, is what I tell the little kids in my classes. That little bad voice telling you to do bad things, or, tell it to shut up. It's okay. It's a voice in your own head. It's okay to tell it to shut up. Whatever works for you out there, you might want to tell it something else. From the adult realm, you got to find something that works for you to get that little negative voice out of your head and get that positive training, that positive visualizing yourself succeeding, dropping weight, whatever it may be. So if you don't do any of that type of training, I strongly would recommend visualizing. That mental training is so key, especially you're holed up in bed with a broken leg. Visualize, see yourself recovering from that. It is going to help. I always have this little thing in my head anytime I'm injured that just like, all right, the blood cells, everything's going and attacking that, and I'm recovering. My body's recovering. So I think it helps. I would suggest you give it a try. And trying it once isn't trying. Try it for a month, once a week, whatever it may be. Maybe it's just a minute or two every day. So visualize, do that mental training, just breathe in, breathe out. It is some fantastic stuff. Run through your scenarios for your self-defense. See yourself doing martial arts, kata, whatever it may be. See yourself applying that triangle perfectly and getting that tap out. Fantastic stuff, guys. Well, I want to thank all of our sponsors, especially Prestige Lab. There's some fantastic stuff, guys. I really love their test boost, their multivitamin, their protein, as I was talking about earlier. So if you haven't checked out Prestige Labs, I strongly advise you to. It's some fantastic supplements. There's just so much crap out there. I actually just even just my stepson, I'm like, what is this crap that's on the counter? I have no idea. It could be good, I don't know, but I think the ginormous pouch of it is just pure marketing to teenage boys. So, and he's got access to Prestige Labs, so I'm like, there's plenty of that stuff in there, but you know, that marketing is tough. So really the only marketing you're going to hear and see is from us here at RMSDF and ClearSky.Training. You can get that stuff on our websites, and it is a way to support this podcast. So I would appreciate you guys checking it out, giving it a try. The subscriptions are the way to go. You're going to save the most money there. So, all right, that's wrapping up some top 10 fitness, top 5 body weight, and some things. I guess I had about 5 things on there to be better at whatever. If you're doing these things, you're going to be better at whatever it is. All right, thanks for joining me on the John Hallett podcast. I am John Hallett. Go out there, train, do something, be better at life.